After a long 10-game cross-country road trip, it is great to be back at Turner Field, where tonight we entertain the Philadelphia Phillies at the start of a very important 7-game homestand. All season long, Braves baseball on Peachtree TV is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, the low price, every day. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back at the ballpark. Great to have a day off yesterday. The Braves wrapping up 20 games in 20 days. And after a brief respite, now you've got the Phillies in town, a club that's surging. But the man facing them, Mike Minor, is surging too. He gets the ball in game one.
I think he's pitching his best baseball of the year right now, Chip, and it couldn't come at a better time. When you look at his splits from the beginning of the season to now, one of the things that stands out to me is that even though he's pitching better baseball right now, he's not getting any run support. He did get some runs to work with in San Francisco in his last start, and he beat them 7-3. But Mike's been on a good roll lately, and it's really moved him up the list on our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. Since July 1st, he has the 6th best ERA in the National League, but that's only good for third on his own team, as Chris Medlin and Paul Mahalam are also at the top of the list in the National League during that stretch in ERA. So Mike on the mound tonight, a good sign for the Braves.
So he's certainly turned his season around, and the Braves' fortunes against Roy Halladay have certainly turned around, at least in this ballpark.
They have indeed, Chip, but this guy, I mean, the first two-thirds of the season, he wasn't himself. He had a lat muscle strain. He was on the disabled list, but the Braves have really taken advantage of that during the season when they've seen him earlier this year, including that ridiculous game when the Braves won it 15-13, thanks to that tying grand slam home run by Brian McCann. And then against Roy Halladay this year, 2 starts and a huge ERA. He's back to being himself, though. He's 4-1 in the month of August, and the Braves are going to see Halladay, Lee, and Hamels. That's like being in a division championship right there, and that'll test the Braves' mettle offensively, certainly, over this weekend.
Yes, the Phillies are under 500, but yes, they have their big three facing the Braves at the start of this very important homestand here at Turner Field. Roy Halladay for the Phillies, Mike Minor for the Braves. Familiar foes square off once again here at Turner Field. First pitch coming right up. by our friends at Blimpie. The Phillies are in town. Braves very happy to be home after a losing road trip, but it wrapped up 20 games in 20 days, as we mentioned. And back to work we go with Jimmy Rollins, Kevin Franzen, and Chase Utley, the first three hitters for the Phillies. Ryan Howard has always enjoyed hitting at Turner Field. Atlanta will try to keep him in check during this series. And Roy Halladay is starting to pitch like Roy Halladay. He's pitching and batting ninth in game one tonight.
Mike Minor, 24 years old, 6'4", 205, out of Chapel Hill, Tennessee, gets the start for the Braves. It's his 25th of the year. In his first 15 starts, walks and homers were really his demise. But his last 9 starts, look how he's cut down on the walks and the home runs, and they have led to real good outings for him. He's got a real good string of quality starts working, including one against the Phillies a few weeks ago where he gave up 3 runs in the first inning and lost 3-0 to Cole Hamels. Gave up no more runs after that. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight: the challenge. He's pitching his best baseball of the year, and he has been challenging hitters, as we just pointed out, about not walking guys. He's trusting his stuff, so keep challenging the hitters. The top of the order, especially Kevin Franzen, is red hot. Keep those guys off base in front of the 2 lefties who he could neutralize with by being left-handed, and it should be a good night for him. I look for him to pitch another good outing here for Atlanta.
And he'll start with Jimmy Rollins, the Phillies shortstop. He too's been swinging a hot bat of late and had his manager hot under the collar yesterday against the Mets. Rollins didn't run hard on a pop-up on the infield, was caught in a rundown later in the ball game and was benched by Charlie Manuel. But all's well for Rollins. He's back in the lineup tonight. Minor gets him on 2 pitches to start the ball game.
This is the play that Charlie Manuel took exception to, a pop-up on the infield. Jimmy didn't run hard, and in his manager's opinion, he probably could have wound up on second base, but by not hustling, he didn't. And then he got caught in a rundown shortly thereafter and was yanked out of the game.
But he did go to Manuel's office before the game today, apologized to his manager again, and apparently has a fresh slate. And here is Kevin Franzen, the hot hitter Joe was talking about. He's at .355 with a homer, 8 runs batted in. I guess Joe Franzen's getting the earliest and longest look as perhaps the Phillies answer at third base next season.
Placido Polanco came back from the disabled list.
Little tapper back to the mound. Minor handles that easily.
Polanco's off the disabled list, but he's not healthy. He says he can't swing the bat, so it's an easy decision for Charlie Manuel, because Franzen's been swinging the bat so well, just to leave him in there. Good start here for Mike Minor.
2 outs on 4 pitches, and now he'll face Chase Utley. This is Chase's 53rd game of the season. He's hit 9 homers. He's knocked in 26 and sports a .250 average.
Braves have really pitched him tough so far this year, too. A guy who's had a good career against Atlanta at times, but this year he's just 3 for 34 against Atlanta.
I think it's safe to say, just like Roy Halladay, Chase Utley's not himself with all of his injury problems. Utley, it's been chronic knee issues.
Got to have your legs under you if you're going to be able to drive the ball. He does have 9 homers since he came back.
Drives this ball to left. And how about the first inning for Mike Minor? He gets 3 outs, and he needs but 8 pitches to get that done. Atlanta's offense will go to work. The Braves start play tonight, 5.5 games behind the first place Nationals. And it'll be Michael Bourne, Martin Prado, and Jason Hayward, 1, 2, and 3. Chipper Jones, Freddie Freeman, Brian McCann. Dan Uggla's had good numbers against Roy Halladay. He'll hit 7th. And Halladay, 8 and 7 now for the Phillies.
35 years old now, 6'6", 230 out of Denver. He has bounced back from the disabled list in a strong Roy Halladay type way, going 4-1 over his 5 starts this month with a 2.75 ERA. Still throws hard, low to mid 90s. But that's the pitch that they'll see a lot of tonight. His 4 keys to pitching success: cutter, buck. Well, he may not have that clothing line on tonight, but he's going to throw a lot of cutters, friends. And some lineup problems.
That's off Ryan Howard's glove and into shallow right field. A good start for Michael Bourne. That's a base hit.
And it starts early. But there are several guys in the lineup tonight for Atlanta that have had good career success against Roy Halladay, and they present a problem for him about how to deal with them.
So Michael Bourne hits the series off to a good start.
And that's good for Michael because he didn't finish so strong on the road trip. In fact, it was a tough road trip. 1 for his last 10 in San Diego, and just 5 for 35 on the trip altogether. So a good start to the homestand for him.
Now Martin Prado, the Braves left fielder tonight. And he pushes a bunt foul up the first base line. Balls and a strike.
When I said in our opening comments that this rotation for the Phillies in this series is like a division championship, it's like a National League Championship Series challenge for Atlanta, having these 3 guys back to back to back. So this is playoff-like pitching that they're facing here, and something that they've got to be able to handle.
No balls and a strike. And quickly 0-2.
In the second half in the National League, only Washington has a better starters ERA than does the Phillies. Washington at 3.30, Phillies at 3.49. The Braves are 3rd.
Little flare into shallow left. That's going to drop in front of Ty Wigginton. So a line drive off the glove of Ryan Howard, and now a bloop to left, and the Braves in business with 2 on and nobody out.
No substitute for early runs against a good pitcher. That was a breaking ball that stayed up for Martin to handle. Like a slider. He also throws a curveball. And for Halladay, mostly cutters, curves, and changeups.
Prado, what a magician with 2 strikes. His 74th 2-strike hit this year. That's more than any other hitter in the major leagues. So now Jason Hayward bats. Chance for some serious first inning damage for Atlanta. And he'll be followed by our Delta Airlines on deck batter, Chipper Jones,
who's one of those guys that presents big problems to Roy Halladay. Take a look at the career numbers. 10 for 19.
High pop, deep short. Rollins drifts back and makes the catch. That's ruled an infield fly. And Jason Hayward's the first Braves out. And here is Chipper. Listen to the cheer for him.
His batting average down a little bit because of his road trip. Wasn't a bad trip. It's just he didn't hit 320 like he'd been hitting.
He was 6 for 28. And he jumps on the first pitch from Halladay and strokes it foul to the left side. No balls and a strike. thought on the road trip, Joe, if there was one major offensive problem the Braves had, it was runners in scoring position. They did not have a good 10-game run in situations like this. And after Hayward popped out, Chipper now finds himself behind 0-2.
Yeah, it was like they didn't have any trouble getting base runners. They get guys on, just couldn't get the one hit, couldn't get a single, to drive in a run or two when they needed them. This goes back a little bit farther. The Braves have lost 8 of their last 12 games, but a 151 average over those 12 games. That really does emphasize what you're talking about, Chip. And 2 runs or fewer, 7 of those 12.
Halliday's trying to get Chipper to nibble, but he won't do it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And as many pitches as he features, especially that cutter, you'd think he'd get more ground balls and get more double plays, but only 7 in 125 innings.
Now from, Joe, from 0-2 to 3-2 now for Chipper.
I'd send them. Be aggressive. Put some pressure on their defense. Maybe open up a hole for Chipper. With his numbers against Halliday, trust that he's not going to strike out.
Chipper has more walks than strikeouts this year, so that might be a good gamble. Runner at second is going. Chipper strikes out, and the Kratz throw to third is right on the money. And Michael Bourne and the Braves are done in the bottom of the first inning. Strike him out, throw him out, double play, and we move to the second. No score. Around Major League Baseball for you tonight, as you see the Braves start play 5.5 games behind the Nationals, and they are playing the Cardinals. And Washington has jumped in front early 2-0. That was Adam Wainwright and Gio Gonzalez. And Adam LaRoche had a big early hit for Washington in that game.
Bad news for the Cardinals today, though, about Rafael Furcal going to have to undergo elbow surgery. Out for the rest of the year.
Ryan Howard jumps on the first pitch and hammers that deep right center field, and that one's not coming back. That's Howard's 40th career home run in this ballpark. And it's 1-0 Philadelphia.
40th in this ballpark? Really? Well, he jumped on the first pitch, belt high fastball. He's the guy that accounted for the runs in the first inning against Mike in Philadelphia when Hamels beat him 3-0. Get a home run off Mike that night.
Let me correct that. His 40th against the Braves for Ryan Howard. His 18th in this ballpark. But 40 homers, 113 RBIs, and 129 games against Braves pitching. Wow.
It's almost Brian McCann-like against the Phillies.
Turnabout's fair play, I guess. So Ty Wigginton getting the start for the Phillies in left field now. They've used all kinds of outfield combinations after trading Shane Victorino and Hunter Pence. And 3 balls and a strike. Big hop for Chipper at third base. And Wigginton's the first out.
The outfield they're putting out there tonight and have been putting out there, for example, Wigginton, Mayberry, and Michael Martinez. That's not exactly Victorino and Worth or Hunter Pence or even Pat Burrell. But this guy's been swinging the bat pretty well for him. Mayberry.
He has 13 hits in the last 10 games he's played, a couple of homers, 7 RBIs. And 12 homers for the year. He got jammed. Giannis goes out, and it's just out of reach to the Braves shortstop. So each club has a bloop hit tonight, and Mayberry's aboard with 1 out.
I think Paul thought he was going to catch this ball the way he was tracking it, and then just out of his reach.
Here's the catcher, Eric Kratz. And he swings the first pitch, and that's going to fall in front of Michael Bourne. Starting to see a bit of a pattern for the Phillies offense in this inning.
Brian McCann out to talk to Mike Minor and maybe to suggest just that. That changeup left upstairs, though, kind of a cookie for Kratz to pick on.
So now Michael Martinez bats. This is Martinez's 21st start for the Phillies. Most of that has been as a second baseman. Had a lot of playing time when Chase Utley was hurt. And he grounds toward Chipper. Gotta hurry, this kid can run. And the Braves do turn the double play. Minor escapes further damage in the second inning. Ryan Howard hits a home run, his 10th of the season. And the Phillies have struck first. by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. Phillies 1, Braves nothing as we head to the bottom of the second inning. We talked earlier tonight about how Atlanta's fortunes against Roy Halladay have changed. So have the Braves' fortunes overall against the Phillies this season.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, the Phillies have owned Atlanta, but so far this year, the Braves have won 9 out of 12 head-to-head. In the last 9 games, they have really owned this ball club, both offensively and from a pitching standpoint. And check out the defense. No errors in those games. And late scoring for Atlanta, 19-0 from the 7th inning on in those 9 games. Very impressive.
As was Ryan Howard's first hit of the night, a long home run. And now Atlanta's first baseman, Freddie Freeman, tries to answer against Roy Halladay. And he just hooked that ball into right field.
Roy Halladay, after that, just kind of looked over toward the Philly dugout like, you got to be kidding me. This was not a pretty swing. It was just effective. Watch him go out and get this pitch that was about 6 inches off the ground and top-handed.
So now Brian McCann bats, and boy, has he mashed the Phillies. And he jumps on that pitch, but smacks it to straightaway center, and Mayberry grabs it for the first out. Just about every time Brian swung the bat against these guys, he's hit the ball right on the button.
Got some goggles on tonight to hit in. That's different. Saw him wearing those in batting practice and thought maybe he was just doing that for BP.
And here's another one of those Braves who's hit Roy Halladay very well, Dan Uggla.
A lot of strikeouts, but a lot of damage, too.
High fly ball toward left, but that's playable for Wigginton. And 2 outs.
Can hit his right on the button, but right to Mayberry. And Dan just missed this. Maybe got it off the end of the bat just a little bit.
And now Paul Janisch. 9 RBIs for Paul, a 197 average. Braves made lots of news at the shortstop position today. First bit of news, Jack Wilson was released by the Braves today. The second bit of news was that Andrelton Simmons is getting closer and closer.
Well, it's just a good sign to see him in uniform and out on the field, taking some ground balls, taking some throws, able to do some baseball activity. He broke that bone in his hand against these Phillies in Philadelphia right before the All-Star break. There's a little bit of Andrelton today. I'm sure that felt great to him to be out there and move around and take some ground balls.
And Janisch takes a base on balls. That doesn't happen often against Roy Halladay. 2 on, 2 out. At the very least, the Braves clear the pitcher.
And this guy just doesn't give you free passes. Check this out. 1 walker less in his last 14 starts. That's his 47th walk of the year in 145 innings.
Strike one to Mike Minor.
Well, he's hot. Mike's hot. He had a good offensive day against the Giants.
Rollins at short. Long throw. Minor out by a half step. Freddie Freeman started the inning with a leadoff hit. Got to second on the Giannis walk, but is left stranded. On we go to the third inning. Roy Halladay and the Phillies lead 1-0. Phillies entering our third inning of play. Ryan Howard has hit a long home run, and this is tonight's McDonald's fan of the game.
Wow, I'll say a fan of the game. 2,367 miles from California to see my Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the 4/10. Welcome.
Good turnout tonight on a busy sports weekend here in the state of Georgia. Got high school football around town tonight. We've got the NASCAR races at Atlanta Motor Speedway this weekend. Bulldogs kick off tomorrow in Athens.
Got a game over at the Georgia Dome tonight too.
And tomorrow. So great time to be a sporting fan in Atlanta. 1 strike to Roy Halladay, who's hitting 146 for the year. And 1-2. How important is Roy Halladay to the Phillies? Well, when he went out with that injury that Joe mentioned earlier tonight, Phillies were 15-27, missing him in rotation. The only team that played worse than the Phillies was Houston. Now Halladay's back, and the Phillies are playing very good baseball since the break, especially this month of August.
Well, there are a couple of things to factor in there, not just Roy being out, but they were still missing Utley and Howard. They actually started the season 25-24 when he went on the DL, then had that bad stretch when he was on the disabled list. And they've gone 22-18 since he came back from the DL, and played even a little better than that since the All-Star break at 25-19. So again, I go back to those stories about, well, the Braves are going to have an easier time of it once we get to September, or once the team gets home, because they're playing a lot of teams with losing records. Oh yeah? Who wants to hook up with Halladay, Lee, and Hamels 3 days in a row?
And let's face it, the Phillies are 7 games under 500 with a month of baseball left. And to your point, you're going to face at least one of these guys every time you face Philadelphia the rest of the way, and they have a lot of games left with Washington. So they are still a very, very dangerous club. Second at bat for Jimmy Rollins, and now a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
There's no question that their lineup is depleted with the trades they made. The injury to Carlos Ruiz really hurt him when he was having a career year. But their bullpen has settled down, pitching better, and it's pitching better because their starters are all back and pitching better too.
And Kyle Kendrick's a big part of that too. We haven't even mentioned him. He's rattled off 4 consecutive wins for the Phillies.
I've been saying all year, don't take your eye off of them. I don't care how bad they looked or how bad their record was. You got to keep your eye on the 5-time defending division champs.
Rollins, a line drive to center. Michael Bourne handles that. 2 quick outs. Bases are empty for Kevin Franzen. And fans, we invite you to get the 3rd limited edition Chipper Jones commemorative print presented by SunTrust. It highlights Chipper's 2008 National League batting title. Get your tickets now for Friday, September 14th as the Braves look to take down the Nationals. Log on to Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000. A strike to Franzen. Inside corner, struck him out. Franzen thought it was too tight, but he's rung up by Mark Carlson, and Minor has a 1-2-3 3rd inning. Top of the Braves order coming up, down an early run. here in Atlanta. Ryan Howard has hit a home run that came in the second inning. The Braves try to get even with Roy Halladay here in the third. Bourne, Prado, and Jason Hayward, the first three coming up.
You know what's better than Dippin' Dots?
2 cups of Dippin' Dots?
Having your dad hold it while you eat it. Just scoop it out.
One ball, no strikes to Michael Bourne. Yeah, there's nothing much better on a warm evening than a cool bowl of ice cream. As Ryan Howard handles this one off the bat of Michael Bourne. And that's the first out of the inning. It sounded funny coming off the bat. Wonder if he broke the bat.
Sounded like it, yeah. Just trying to pick on Ryan Howard again. Oh, yes. See fragments flying off the bat. That's a good indication. But that's what Roy Halladay can do to lefties, is fire that cutter time and again in on your hands. I think that's one of the reasons Freddie Freeman was kind of conscious of that when he hooked that one to right field and that pitch down and away. Just trying to be ready for that cutter if it came.
Rollins at short, glides to his right, fires high to first, but Howard's there. And that's out number 2. Jason Hayward popped up in the Braves first. Atlanta had 2 on, nobody out. After his pop up, Chipper Jones struck out into an inning-ending double play. Bourne was thrown out, trying to move from second to third on that play. And outside to Jason, 1 ball, no strikes. To center, and Mayberry will track it down, and Roy Halladay is settling in. He works a 1-2-3 third inning. TV is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, low price, every day. Mike Minor will face Utley, Howard, and Wigginton in the 4th inning.
A lot of painted faces tonight.
Very
Great to have everybody out for the Labor Day weekend, the beginning of it. It's a warm night, really muggy.
Feels like temperature around 90 degrees.
People in those short sleeves have the right idea.
Way outside to Chase Utley. He lined out to left his first and only time up. Mentioned earlier that Kevin Franzen's maybe trying to stake a claim to the third base job for the Phillies. There was some talk in the Philly papers about maybe Chase Utley playing third base for the Phillies next year. Hits this one in the air to center. Bourne going back. Look at that ball carried to within a step or two of the wall. He just missed. One out.
Just an easy swing and the ball jumps. Watch him use his hands. Short follow through. Very little body turn at all. And he gets the bat out front and has great bat speed thanks to his hands. He's just amazing with that swing. And he looks like, I guess because he's around Ryan Howard and people like that, you think that he's a little guy. He's not a little guy.
So Utley certainly has, I guess you could say, the power to play a corner position. I guess the question is, would he be able to react from playing second to third, different angles and different speed of the game? Would his knees hold up? And could he make the long throws across the diamond? Howard, another fly ball. Bourne drifts back 6 or 7 steps. Ryan's the second out of the inning.
I think there are two things you said there, Chip, that are crucial to any thought given to him playing third base. And the first is the assumption that his knees might be saved a little bit by playing third instead of second. And granted, he'll be out of the way of a double play. But think about how many times Chipper or any other third baseman has to charge on swinging bunts or just to field bunts. And the other is his arm. Some questions about whether or not his arm is strong enough to play third.
And Utley's tinkered around with it during batting practice. I asked Charlie Manuel about it before the game tonight. He said, I think Chase could play over there. The question is, does he want to? So that's something to follow in the offseason before the 2013 season. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ty Wigginton. Look out. Bat's headed for the seats over the Phillies on deck circle.
Fortunately, it looks like everyone's okay. How quick the medical staff got down there too, along with the ushers. Good work. Check on everybody.
That ricochets into the Braves dugout.
That was headed right for Steve Angel. I don't know how he didn't flinch. Oh, Man of Steel, forgot.
At third, Chipper handles a big hop, and that will retire the side. Mike Minor's pitching beautiful ball, needs some run support. Let's see if Chipper can provide it. He leads off the inning. 1-0, Phillies lead in game 1.
7th inning, time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. This is what accounted for the 1 run in the ball game. First pitch of the 2nd inning. Pitch was supposed to be outside, low and outside, and it was down the middle about belt high, and Ryan Howard creamed it for his 10th homer of the year. The Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. But it was just a solo shot.
And Chipper bats for the 2nd time. A rare strikeout for the Braves' 3rd baseman back in the opening inning. And you said at the time, turn the runners loose. Be aggressive. Try to make something happen against Roy Halladay.
I'd do it again.
Two balls and a strike.
Count goes to 3-1. The Phillies outfielders all move to the left. Figuring Chipper will get something to pull.
One thing you know about Chipper is he loves the challenge of facing a man of the caliber of Roy Halladay. Look at his batting average against the Phillies right-hander. Now at .500. 10 for 20 with 3 homers. And he takes a leadoff walk. Really rare night. 2 walks for Roy Halladay. And a good start to the Braves' 4th. Joe, the Braves moments ago made some news off the field.
Yeah, they announced that they had acquired infielder Jeff Baker from the Tigers for a player to be named later, or cash. Started the year with the Cubs and then went to Detroit, but good numbers in parts of 10 major league seasons. Good average against lefties, which the Braves certainly need, and a versatile player that can be used in several different positions. Braves have seen more left-handed starters than any other team in baseball, and to have another right-handed bat certainly will help.
So Baker acquired for a player to be named later, or cash, as Freddie Freeman drives one a mile foul into the upper deck.
The other part of it is that the rosters will be able to be expanded tomorrow, so you can call up players from the minor leagues and add to your roster, and can fortify with some more right-handed hitters if need be. There are the splits in terms of games against lefties and righties.
One ball, one strike for Freeman.
He's making some mistakes here early on. He just left that pitch up and far enough off the plate that Freddie didn't offer. But it's not like he's burning every corner and making pitches to locations he wants to.
Well, when Freddie Freeman's career is finished, we hope that's not for another 15 or 20 years, when he writes his home run book. Name number 1 is Roy Halladay. Freddie's first big league homer came September 21st, 2010. A pinch hit blast off the Phillies right-hander. And he's forced a full count.
Roy Halladay began his career against the Braves in fine fashion. He was 3-0 in his first 4 with a 1.13 ERA and a 1.98 average, but his last 4 have been ugly. Including his last 3 starts here at Turner Field. He's 0-2 with a 6.52 ERA.
That's foul past first.
Appeared to be a good call by Angel Hernandez. He had to get out of the way of the baseball, but he was right on it. Wide of the bag on that last hop and kicked even farther into foul territory.
Back-to-back walks for Roy Halladay.
Who turns his back on the home plate umpire, Mark Carlson. I think Carlson's been pretty generous to both he and Mike Minor at times already tonight. But Halladay really ticked off about that call. Chase Utley trying to calm him down a little bit. Breaking ball, and again, it's not where you catch it, it's where it crosses the plate. And that was borderline. It went Freddie's way.
First time Halladay's walked as many as 3 batters in a game since April 21st in San Diego.
That would mean the chances of him walking back-to-back guys in any inning would be pretty rare.
Here's Brian McCann. As we told you, Brian has feasted against this Phillies pitching staff. His work, our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
I'll say he's made up for some lost time this year. Brian's certainly due for an extra base hit in the month of August, the last day of the month, and he has no extra base hits this month. You know about his shoulder, that it's been bothering him some, but now we see the glasses tonight too. Makes you wonder if there'd been some issues with that coming in.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Phillies have some action in their bullpen. B.J. Rosenberg beginning to throw. That's the pitch that I don't get from Halladay tonight. That's not Roy Halladay like. And it was an off-speed pitch. He's ahead in the count 0-2. But he just kind of lollipopped that pitch up there. You got a good look at it if you're Brian McCann, and able, even though you might be out on your front foot a little bit, to adjust to it and get a piece of it and stay alive. Halladay usually puts you away with something hard in that situation, like he did Chipper in the first inning.
Maybe that lat's bothering him. Maybe that's why the Phillies pen is busy. You know, Halladay hasn't given up a run yet.
And it was interesting too, after he walked Chipper, he walked behind the mound like he's doing right now, and really did. When he bent over to get the rosin back, he stayed bent over for a long time, like he was kind of stretching too. His last start against the Nationals, he beat them 4-2 and went 7 innings.
Ryan pops one up into left. And Wigginton is under it and has it. The Braves looking for their first base hit tonight with a runner in scoring position. 1 man down. Delta Airlines is the proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. Thanks to Matt Coney and his great crew for bringing us home safely from the West Coast. Great job as always. Be back in the air on Thursday after we wrap up our homestand with the Colorado Rockies. Quickly 0-2 to Dan Uggla.
Roy's worked up quite a lather here in 55 pitches. We're only in the 4th inning, but he's a guy who really takes a lot of pride in his conditioning work and just seems to be laboring this inning.
Got Uggla to chase. The Braves 0 for 5 so far with a runner in scoring position. And 2 are out for Paul Janisch.
It looked like he was laboring those 3 pitches. 3 breaking balls. See you later. Terrific pitch, too. Right at the center of the plate. Late breaker.
Janisch, a fly ball, shallow center. That's going to get down in front of Mayberry. Streaking around third is Chipper. The throw to the plate. Collision at the plate. And Kratz is going to be able to hang on. A literal bang-bang play at the plate.
He leveled a huge catcher here. Hope Chipper's all right. Looks like he is, but Pratt's able to hang on.
The runner in scoring position, but unfortunately Erik Kratz held on with a big collision to keep the Phillies in front.
Mayberry airmails the throw. What a play by Kratz. Chipper got no help from anybody telling him whether to slide or stand up. He really had no choice when Kratz jumped right into his path. Kratz, by the way, 6'4", 255, in case you're wondering. And he got decleated, but held on. Decleated, demasked, dehelmeted, de-out.
So John Mayberry, the man that made the throw to the plate, leads things off in the 5th. And Minor delivers a strike. Boy, it's the same story for Mike Minor. Braves have scored a total of 13 runs in the last 8 starts while Mike has been on the mound. And only Ryan Howard's homer has dented the scoreboard. Now 3 balls and a strike.
Ideally, a quick inning, get Roy Halladay right back out there.
And ball 4. That ends a very long and impressive streak of innings for Mike Minor without issuing a walk. Came in at 22 and 2/3 innings without a base on balls. That ends leading off the 5th. Learn ways to make your home more energy efficient with Georgia Power's online energy checkup. It's free and takes less than 15 minutes to complete. Log on to georgiapower.com for more.
'89 at bats for Kratz since he started playing on a pretty consistent basis after the injury to Ruiz, but only 2 double plays hit into so far.
Strike 1.
Phillies have 2 catchers on their roster. I mean, one besides Kratz, who was kind of a career minor leaguer, very little big league playing time, and then a guy who's been in their organization for about 7 or 8 years. Stephen LaRue just called up, got his first big league hit yesterday or the day before. So a couple of guys with very little major league experience that they're counting on to handle this pitching staff the rest of the way.
If you look at the results, at least the last 10-12 games, you'd have to say they've done a real good job for the Phillies.
Charlie was really bragging on them before the game.
Ball and a strike to Kratz, hitting .281 for the year. And he hits this one a long way toward left center. Michael Bourne going back. He says he's got it and does shy of the track.
And with 1 out here in the 5th inning, Braves fans, the Delta flyaway is back. So grab your phone and text Delta to South. That's Delta to 76884 for a chance to win round-trip airfare for 2 anywhere Delta flies in the continental United States, plus hotel accommodations and $250 spending cash. We'll announce the winner on Monday, September 17th during our Braves telecast.
Here's Michael Martinez. He hit into a double play his first time up. Martinez started the year on the disabled list, had a fractured right foot, did that in a spring training game. Was finally activated and sent to AAA on June the 5th. This is his second time up with the Phillies, back up on August the 1st. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We've seen him in the big leagues with them before, though, and does a good job of playing different positions in the infield. We just didn't know that he played the outfield too, which we're getting to see him in right field tonight.
I don't know if it's the start of a trend or really a continuation of one, but that super utility player is such a valuable part of every National League franchise, certainly. We saw it with Omar Infante and Martin Prado. As Martinez skies one into shallow center, Michael Bourne got a terrific jump, makes the running catch, thought about a throw to first, but wisely holds on, 2 out. Michael has been very busy tonight.
Well, he's been all over the ballpark. Remember, he just went out to the fence to catch one, and now he's got to streak in and catch one out in shallow center. And there's just that one hesitation there, not hesitation, the inability to get the ball out of his glove right away prevented him from making the throw. And when you can't get it out quickly, smart to hang on to it.
Michael's caught 5 of the last 8 outs in tonight's ball game. So Minor paws around the mound, lets Bourne get back to his position and catch his breath. Roy Halladay, the pitcher, is up with 2 outs. Halladay pushing up Mike's pitch count.
Yeah, hanging tough.
No swing, says Angel Hernandez. 2-2. And Minor strikes him out. Pitches around a leadoff walk in the 5th inning. And will take matters into his own hands in the bottom half of the frame. 1-0. Braves trail the Phillies midway through.
All the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn, Southern hospitality at its best.
Well, this one's pretty easy to summarize. Our Hardy's game summary. Only 1 run is scored, Joe, despite a ton of chances against Roy Halladay in the first 4 innings for the Braves offense.
It's frustrating. I mean, 4 hits and 3 walks, and nothing to show for that in only 4 innings of Halladay work. Chance there to maybe get on the board, but a good throw by Mayberry, and somehow Kratz hanging onto the ball after he was run over by Chipper. Keeps it 1-0.
So Mike Minor will go to work for the Braves to start the 5th inning. Then Michael Bourne, then Martin Prado. Low on Roy Halladay.
The Braves have almost had an opposite approach to Halladay than the Phillies have had to Mike Minor. The Phillies have been very aggressive early in the count, especially first pitches. The Braves are kind of making Halladay throw the ball over the plate. And they haven't really chased. It doesn't seem to me that they've chased a lot of bad pitches, with the possible exception of Chipper in the first inning, that pitch down and in.
Mike Minor with a shot to right field, a leadoff single.
He is hot. That gives him 3 hits for the year. 1 in each of the last 2 games. Watch Mike take batting practice, and he's got a good swing, drives the ball pretty well. Just hasn't been able to get any hits until the last couple of games, so a good start to the inning again.
Upstairs to Michael Bourne. Michael's 1 for 2.
Ryan Howard's been back playing for a while. Tonight is his 46th game. But we've talked about this in previous series where he doesn't seem to move very well at all on that left ankle. And he had to have surgery on for the Achilles tear. And nothing wrong right here. See if he could field a bunt, move a runner into scoring position.
One ball, 2 strikes. And that's over the inside corner. Bourne is struck out looking. And no advance of Mike Minor. Here's Prado. And first inning single for Prado gave him a 4-game hitting streak. Just 2 hits behind Michael Bourne for their season totals. Bourne 154, Prado 152. And Martin not sure about that one and is behind 0-2.
Halladay complained about a call down and in, and that ball never looked like it had the plate. Stayed inside.
Driven deep left. That one's going to get outside the playing field. 2-run homer.
Career homer. Boy, was it timely. Behind in the count again. Thought he'd sneak a fastball by him. Martin knew it. Little look in the dugout. Boy, Halladay fired the rosin bag down. I guess he thought he'd catch Martin guessing like he did Michael Bourne.
So Prado got to 2 strikes and reeled Halladay in, and the Braves were in front 2-1 in the 5th. Minor helped his cause with a leadoff single as well. Now Jason Hayward ahead in the count 2-0. Popped him up. Jimmy Rollins right behind the second base bag. 2 outs.
Watch the swing again of Martin Prado. Picked his left heel up, but that's about it. Put the foot right back down. So he's got his hands back. He's ready and just pulled the trigger. Good swing on a good fastball on the inner third. And Halladay not happy.
So Chipper Jones bats. He's 0 for 1 with a walk.
Walk out and a walk and a TKO.
Would have minded hearing the conversation if there was one when Chipper got to the plate.
Jeremy Horst now throwing in the Phillies pen. He's not throwing hard. He's not on the attack like you're used to seeing from Roy Halladay with that cutter, which is a good pitch. But his fastball is usually 92 to 94, and that cutter is usually around 90 to 91. We haven't seen that tonight. We've seen a lot of pitches in the 87, 88 range.
That one was at 79 and fooled Chipper. That one 87.
And that appeared to be a cutter.
He's gone to the rosin bag almost after every pitch.
He just does not look comfortable, and he looks like he is laboring and has all night to me. That was just a four-seamer there at 88. Two-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star, perfect game, postseason no-hitter.
And another base on balls. Charlie Manuel, I'm guessing, is thinking get him through 5 with a chance to qualify for the win and hope the Phillies bats can come back and get the lead against Mike Minor. But you're right, Joe. He's uncharacteristically wild in Game 1 tonight.
That ties his season high in walks. Got to go way back to that game in San Diego in April to find a game in which he walked 4 guys.
The 4th and 5th innings, very long ones for Roy Halladay. And here's Freeman.
Like to have that one back. Doobie's the pitching coach, tracking and watching Halladay closely.
One ball, 2 strikes. High fly ball belted center field. Back goes Mayberry at the wall. That's gone.
That looked a little like the one he hit off Halladay for his first career homer. They hit in Citizens Bank Park. That's 13 home runs allowed by Roy Halladay this year, and the 5th allowed to Atlanta. And he didn't stride. He just picked up that heel, put it back down, stayed back, and that's going to end the night with 34.
Turner Field has become the personal house of horrors for Roy Halladay. He's given up 15 runs in 16 innings in Atlanta this year. by the Home Depot, by Blimpie, and by Georgia Power. Well, this crowd at Turner Field real happy now. A couple of two-run homers for the Braves in the fifth inning have chased starter Roy Halladay, who allows 4 runs, 7 hits in 4 2/3 innings. Martin Prado's hit a 2-run shot. Freddie Freeman has hit a 2-run shot. And Mike Minor, who has gotten so little run support, now has a 3-run lead as he gets ready for the 6th inning. The Braves aren't done yet with their half of the 5th. Brian McCann is in the batter's box. And the Phillies go to the left-hander, Jeremy Horst.
This guy hasn't given up a run in his last 7 outings. In fact, you got to go back to.
McCann shoots a ball to deep right. Martinez on the run, makes a nice running catch.
Last run he gave up was against Atlanta.
But a big 5th inning for Atlanta. It started with a Mike Minor single. Then Martin Prado homered to left. And with 2 outs, a walk to Chipper Jones and Freddie Freeman with his 39th 2-out RBI of the year makes it a 4-1 Atlanta score. Atlanta's hit 2 of them. The Phillies have hit 1. Braves 4-1 lead now after 5, and it's time for our SunTrust solid performance.
And that's the major league leaders and their record against sub-500 teams. The Reds with the best record. The Braves second at 50-25. And lead tonight.
At the top of the Phillies order faces Mike Minor for a 3rd time. Jimmy Rollins is hitless.
Both of the home runs tonight off Halladay came with 2 strikes. He'd only given up 1 2-strike homer all year. He gave up 2 that inning. But again, he just didn't look himself tonight. Braves able to take advantage.
So Mike, don't change a thing. He's pitched very effectively tonight. He now leads 4-1. He's held the Phillies to just 3 hits. All of them came in the 2nd inning. He's walked only 1 man. He struck out 3. That went off Mike Minor, I think, and into center field. That clipped his glove.
Clipped his glove or his chest. I'm not sure. It was that close. This was a close one. Off the glove.
And now Kevin Franson with a base hit to left. Rollins a big turnaround second. Will stop there. Back-to-back hits. 2 on, nobody out. And here's Utley.
And the importance of a Ford Key to keep those top guys off the base. Top guys in the order. Because while their lineup has been reduced to something less than what it was with the trades, they still have these 2 guys, Utley and Howard.
Utley's 0 for 2 tonight. Came in hitting just 188 against left-handed pitching.
He's hit 2 rockets to account for that 0 for 2. 1 to left, 1 to center.
And he bunts. Chipper at third. Bare hand, won't have a play. Utley with a bunt single to load the bases.
Good baseball play there, taking what the Braves gave him, moving the runners up into scoring position and reaching himself. Smart play. Whoa. Avilan almost did a face plant there.
Roger McDowell out to get the bullpen. A few extra warm-up tosses here as the Phillies threaten big time with nobody out. And here's our AT&T U-verse trivia question. It does pertain to the game situation. Since 2006, Ryan Howard's one of only 2 players to record 800 or more runs batted in. Name the other player. He's got 1 tonight. That came on a leadoff homer in the second.
Since they've come back from injury, coming into play tonight, Utley hitting 188 against lefties, Howard 182. That's kind of like talking about the Phillies having a sub 500 record with their pitching staff. It's like, don't look at the record, look at who you're having to deal with.
Howard shoots one into shallow center field. That's going to drop. 1 run scores. Franson around third. He will score without a throw. 4 consecutive Phillies hits. And we all of a sudden have a 1-run game.
That didn't take long for him to get right back in it. Sounded like another broken bat. Fastball in that he had to fight off, but he's strong enough to do it. And even though the Braves had a shift on for him, no chance at all for Giannis to get out there on that one.
So Mike Minor departs. He has a 1-run lead. Runners at the corners for the Phillies and nobody out as we continue in the 6th inning. By McDonald's, by the Georgia Lottery, by AT&T Uverse, and by Ram Trucks. Hasn't taken long for the Phillies to make a game of it again. 4 hits on 9 pitches in this 6th inning. That's chased Mike Minor. The Phillies have runners first and third with nobody out. And Chad Durbin answers our first AT&T call to the bullpen tonight.
Chad gave up a couple of runs Wednesday in San Diego. First time he'd given up runs since August 19th. But where he has really shined is leaving inherited runners out there. When there's nobody out, runners at the corners. And while he has done a good job of inducing double plays, getting ground balls, right now it'd be mighty impressive if he can get out of this without a tie game. Four hits on 9 pitches this inning as the Phillies continued to get on Minor early.
Line drive to left. Prado charges, makes the grab. Runner at third. Utley tags. The throw to the plate will be not in time. A rocket hit to left field is a sacrifice fly and an RBI, and we're tied at 4-4.
Again on the first pitch. Did Chipper slow this down with his glove or just reach for it to bluff? No, he just bluffing.
So 3 runs, 4 hits on 10 pitches this inning. And here's Mayberry. He singled and walked. Chad's done good work against the Phillies this year. Hasn't given up a hit or a run in 5 2/3 innings of relief work.
Where this ball in the dirt got Brian. Came up on it. Got away with one there.
2-2.
Looked like a cutter that didn't cut, and Mayberry had a good swing at it.
Braves chased Roy Halladay, but the Phillies offense has chased Mike Minor here in the 6th. And that one gets by Brian McCann, and Ryan Howard will move to second. Wild pitch.
But he's coming up on the ball. It is a wild pitch. But instead of going to the knees with the glove staying down and trying to keep the ball in front of him, he's actually kind of coming up with the glove. His knees went down, but his glove was coming up, and it gets right through the so-called 5 hole here. Watch the glove. The glove did not get down to the dirt and was coming up like to play a short hop.
And Mayberry earns a walk. First and second with one out. And here's Kratz. Friday Night Braves baseball on Peachtree TV is presented by Blimpie. 9:15 in the East. Game 1 between the Braves and the Phillies here at Turner Field. Joe and Chip with you. Atlanta trailed 1-0, led 4-1. Now we're tied, as you see, in the top of the Phillies' 6th. Slow roller towards short. Close play at second. That's all Atlanta gets. They force Mayberry. Howard to third. Kratz to first. 2 outs for Michael Martinez.
Even with the catcher running, the ball was just hit too slowly to have even a thought of turning a double play.
That caught a corner, strike one. Down the left field line, but that's headed for the seats. Placido Polanco's grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle as Jeremy Horst is due next. That's hit a long way, but foul to right.
Well, to have the first four guys reach without an out and then have Ched come in to try to clean it up. The sacrifice fly got one in to tie it, but so far so good on his part, even though he walked about it to try to cut the damage here if he can get Martinez.
Full count. So Kratz can get a lead and a running start.
Pitcher spot next. Polanco out there on deck.
Swing and a miss, and that retires the side. The Phillies start the 6th inning with 4 consecutive singles. They tie the game against Mike Minor. 4-4 is your 6th inning score. Of the bullpens, the long ball has played a prominent role for both offenses.
Oh, and we're not done. Oh, no. It's also time for the Coors Light 6th inning. The freeze cam. And how about this freeze at the plate? Bang! Chipper leveled Eric Kratz, but he held on to the baseball. A little shoulder to shoulder. Decleated, dehelmeted, demasked, but he did hold on for the out. That was Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Dan Uggla starts the Atlanta 6th. And takes a letter high strike.
Dan Uggla had the great month of August last year. Everybody was hoping that he would be able to return the favor again this month. 4 homers and 14 RBI, certainly an improvement over July, but the batting average still scuffling. And he's not had a multi-hit game at home since May 30th.
High fly ball deep left center field. Mayberry going back. That one's gone.
How about finishing August on a high note?
The Braves are back in front. 5-4 now your score.
Great way to answer his 17th of the year. Third home run for the Braves tonight with 2 strikes.
Now Paul Janisch, roller out to Rollins at short. 1 out.
Ball outer part, he just went out around it and launched it. He was hitting balls so far in batting practice it was scary, but he was hitting with such authority and such confidence that you hoped it would translate to the game, and tonight it did.
So Tyler Pasternicki will pinch hit for Chad Durbin. Durbin goes a scoreless inning as Tyler takes ball too high. Rosters expand tomorrow. If you missed it earlier tonight, the Braves made a trade today. They acquired Jeff Baker from the Tigers for a player to be named later or cash. Baker, a super utility type player, can give the Braves some right-handed hitting balance, something they've been looking for a long time here. And Pasternicki takes a 1-out walk. And with all the left-handers the Braves have seen and will continue to see, Jeff Baker could be a very important acquisition. You'll see what I'm talking about, our Jamison Inn upcoming schedule.
2 more lefties. The Braves have seen more of them than any other team in baseball in terms of left-handed starting pitchers, and what a matchup tomorrow. Cliff Lee against Tim Hudson. That'll be on Big Fox at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Back with you on our broadcast Sunday afternoon. Cole Hamels will be going against Paul Mahalem. And that's a 5:05 start Sunday. Make a note of that.
Hamels was scratched from his start yesterday, had an illness of some sort, but should be good to go in the series wrap up. And he's been real tough on the Braves this year. No balls, 2 strikes to Michael Bourne. Michael tonight has singled, lined out, and struck out. And he swings and misses again. Michael's racking up some strikeouts.
And not enough walks to offset those, at least in my opinion. And as good as he is at getting on top of that high fastball, a little late on that one.
Michael struck out 129 times. That's 3rd most on the team. Two outs for Martin Prado. He's singled, he's homered. Both of his hits have come with 2 strikes. Take a couple, Martin. Another multi-hit game for Prado. .49 of those this season.
You mentioned the 129 mark for Bourne on strikeouts, 54 walks. He came in with a right at a .350 on base percentage, thanks to all the good hitting.
Two balls, 1 strike.
Part of the problem for the Phillies all year long for Charlie Manuel has been their bullpen and how to get to Jonathan Papelbon at the end of the game. Long relief setup guys have really struggled.
And another base on ball. Second of the inning for Horst. And now Jason Hayward bats with 2 on and 2 out. I think, Joe, that's another side effect of having a guy like Halladay on the disabled list for as long as he did. Think of all those extra innings that he isn't able to pitch. You know, he can take the game 9 with, I'll say, relative ease, but with great regularity by today's standards. Think of all the extra innings the Pens had to pick up in his absence. And an early KO for Halladay today. He's out after 4 2/3, as you said, his 2nd shortest of the year.
I think because of their inconsistency down there, though, Chip, Charlie, Rich Doobie had a hard time finding people for slots, you know, to set up to get to Papelbon. They kept kind of rotating some of the guys in different innings, and nobody settled in and really took over those roles as setup guys. And they've been better lately. I mean, during this run where the teams played well since the All-Star break, they had begun to pitch better. As I started to say a little earlier about Horst, he hadn't given up a run in his last 7 games. You got to go back to August 6th, and he gave up a run to the Braves last time he allowed a run until tonight.
That was the Dan Uggla leadoff homer. He's got 2 runners on with 2 outs. And Jason Hayward up there. Jason's 0 for 3 tonight.
Close to where it was supposed to be, and was lucky to get away with it.
Jason's still alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Philadelphia scored first on a Ryan Howard homer in the second. The Braves scored 4 in the fifth, a pair of 2-run homers. Phillies got 3 in the sixth. Atlanta's taken the lead back with an Uggla homer here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And now ground ball to second. Chase Utley's got it, and that retires Hayward and the Braves. But Atlanta's back in front. Dan Uggla has hit his 17th home run. Seventh inning now in Atlanta. Braves have a 5-4 lead.
As we go to the seventh inning, time for the Home Depot tours from the dugout. The Braves with 3 home runs tonight with 2 strikes on the batter. First when Martin Prado off Roy Halladay. Fastball, tried to sneak one by him. Didn't happen. Freddie Freeman, almost an instant replay of the first homer Freddie ever hit, only it was at Citizens Bank Park to the same general area off Halladay. And just moments ago in a 2-2 count to Dan Uggla, he launched one to dead center up Jeremy Horse to give the Braves the lead back.
So that's your trio of home run hitters tonight. Macedo Polanco will pinch hit for Jeremy Horst. He'll lead off the Phillies' 7th. And as you see, Johnny Vetters is on to pitch. So the AT&T call to the bullpen goes to the Braves left-hander, who have been pitching great baseball up until his last time out against the Padres. Right field line into the seats foul.
.355 ERA, still a lot of strikeouts. But a couple of things different this year about Johnny compared to last year. First of all, he had an unbelievable year. It's kind of hard to duplicate that. But there's not as many swings and misses, and there's not that many cold strikes. Used to be a lot of chases in the dirt, that slider down and in. Hitters are beginning to lay off that pitch. And that was kind of a go-to spot against right-handers especially.
Tried it on that last pitch with Polanco and missed. And now a 3-1 count, and it's a base hit up the middle. So Polanco represents the tying run, and the top of the Phillies order goes back to work. It's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins part of that 4-hit barrage an inning ago. 4 hits on 9 pitches against Mike Minor. Rollins now 7 hits away from 2,000.
Phillies have roughed up Johnny Venters some this year too. He's been in 5 games, and with that hit, 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits and 2 walks. So a lot of base runners, and he's given up 2 runs. 4.91 ERA.
In the air to center, Michael Bourne's got it tracked down. 1 man down. Kevin Franson singled and scored an inning ago. He's got 14 hits in his last 34 at bats.
First time he's faced Venters.
Remember Franson from his days with the Giants. Played in 54 games with the Dodgers in 2010. And he grounds slowly toward Giannis, who gets the force play at second.
Nice play. Nice play. Would have been easy to go to first base and get the out there, but then the tying runs in scoring position. But he made the quick turn and dive to get it to Uggla quickly, knowing they're not going to get a double play, but let's cut down that lead runner, and they did. Oh, goodness, he's played well.
And again, if you didn't hear the other part of the Jeff Baker story today, the Braves did release Jack Wilson. Everton Simmons earlier today during batting practice, starting to take ground balls. Ramping up his baseball activities. He could be back in the next week or 2 in September. As Venters faces Utley with 2 outs. 1 ball, no strikes.
Utley 1 for 5 in his career against Venters with 3 walks. And lefties, generally speaking, hitting better against Johnny this year again than last. Last year 127 average. This year 281.
Bounced foul by Utley. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tried to run a fastball by him on the last pitch. Breaking ball now. See, that pitch this year, I think, is Johnny Venters in a nutshell compared to last year. Last year, that pitch was thrown in such a way that the hitter couldn't lay off. This year, it's bouncing so far out in front of home plate and starts so low out of his hand that the hitter picks up on it right away, and there's no offer.
You're right. A lot of Johnny's swinging strikes last year weren't strikes.
Yeah.
But they looked like them. Now he forces a full count with Franz in at first base and 2 down. Ryan Howard lurking on deck. He's driven in 3 runs tonight. Runner goes. Utley swings and he misses.
What a difference.
A tale of 2 pitches. Utley wondered if it was a strike. The end result certainly was. Inventors protects a 1-run Atlanta lead. Rays are hoping for some help from the Cardinals tonight, but aren't getting it. You see Atlanta at the moment, 5.5 back in the East. Washington's all over Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals tonight. That score at Nationals Park at last count was 8-0. A big night for Bryce Harper, but Atlanta could gain some ground on the Cardinals in the wild card chase. So if Atlanta wins, they win no matter how that Washington score turns out. So as you know, the Braves are in a playoff chase. You can register today for an exclusive Braves postseason ticket pre-sale to guarantee the best seats available for the 2012 postseason. Visit Braves.com/postseason to register before September 10th. That's Antonio Bastardo. He becomes the 3rd Phillies pitcher. Phillies have been aggressive on the first pitch. Let's see if Chipper is in this 7th inning. He took it, but there's a reason why.
Now, first pitch, he's been clobbering the baseball this year compared to last. So he's been very careful with him on that one.
Foul back, and that evens the count. Couple of walks and a run scored for Chipper tonight.
And Chipper loves Bastardo too. 3 for 7 and 3 walks.
Two balls, 2 strikes. putting up a good fight here in the 7th inning. And a swing and a miss. Chipper strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. One away in the Braves' 7th.
Stardo last year, a great year for the Phillies as they won their 5th straight National League East title. He was 6-1 with a .264 ERA and 8 saves.
Freddie Freeman's had a great night at the plate tonight. He's singled, he's walked, and he's hit a 2-run homer. The home run came against Roy Halladay, the Phillies starter.
Second of two-run homers. Prado had the first. That was just a high pop bottle rocket right there from Freddie.
One ball, 2 strikes. Douglas hopes to follow Brian McCann here in the 7th. Over the outside corner, tough pitch. That's the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Bastardo.
Close, probably too close to take in that count.
Won't know till after the game what reason Brian has for wearing the glasses tonight. Liner down the left field line, headed for the seats. Strike 1. In the air to right, Martinez is there, and that'll retire the side. On we go to the 8th. Atlanta still leads the Phillies in Game 1 of the series. It's a 5-4 game. trivia question. We've had a good long while to think about this one. It centers around Ryan Howard, the big Phillies first baseman. He's one of only 2 players to record 800 or more runs batted in since 2006. Joe, can you name the other player to do that?
I want to say Albert Pujols, but I'm going to go Prince Fielder.
I'm going to say Alex Rodriguez. And of course,
he always bites us, doesn't he?
He's become the Ross Grimsley of the Detroit Tigers.
Yes, he has.
Jim Leland says Miguel Cabrera is the MVP of the American League. Fans in Anaheim might think differently with the year Mike Trout is having. It'll be a fun race to argue over in the final month of the season. As Eric O'Flaherty takes over for the Braves bullpen, he's got Ryan Howard to start things off. And a belt-high strike, 0-1.
Eric got off to a slow start. Through May 7th, his ERA was 6.55. Since then, 39 games, it's 0.78, which is even lower than it was for his season last year.
Eric in 78 games last year had a 0.98 ERA, the lowest in Major League history for any pitcher with 75 or more appearances. And he's off to a good start as he strikes out Ryan Howard, who's had a big game at the plate. Howard 2 for 4 now, 1 man down.
Terrific location, down and started it at the middle of the plate and had him chase it.
Wigginton's got some thump. He's hit 10 homers. He has an RBI on a sac fly tonight. What should make September so exciting for the Braves is we all know how effective the big 3 arms are in the bullpen are for Freddie Gonzalez. Their workload has been trimmed considerably when you compare the 2012 body of work to the 2011 season. And one would think, Joe, they'd be awfully fresh for a September run.
Absolutely. Through 131 games last year. Camera boys. I expect Medlin to know that, but I didn't know that Tommy would be aware.
To third. Chipper charges and can't come up cleanly. And Wigginton's aboard with an infield hit.
Through 131 games last year, O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrel 195 innings pitched. 195 this year combined, 139 and a third coming into play tonight. So quite a difference. 55 innings spread among the 3 of them, less than last year.
So an infield hit for Wigginton. John Mayberry will be the batter, but first Wigginton will depart. Juan Pierre will come on and pinch run. Say this for Charlie Manuel, and you have to respect him for it. Well, the Phillies appear to be out of the playoff chase right now. They still play these games straight up and play them to win. He's trying to get Pierre into scoring position and a chance to tie this game.
I'm not sure they think they're out of it. I'm not sure that they're certainly not playing like it. And with respect to the wild card, I think they're only about 7 games back behind the number 2 spot. 9 games?
Yep. There is still a lot of baseball left, and as we've said this whole series, you get these 3 starters coming at you for the Phillies. They can make life awfully tough for you.
Well, I know that about 2 or 3 years ago they caught the Mets and only had half a month to do it. They were 7 games back of the Mets in mid-September and won the division. 7 games back with 17 to play in total.
So as I think as you've been saying since about April 5th,
You have a chance to beat the Phillies. You better beat them.
I kept saying, every time they lose early on, that's one you don't have to worry about later on. And I liked it when they were losing a lot because I just knew that there was something better coming.
And even more remarkably, this good play with the injuries that have been well documented. And the trades of Hunter Pence, Shane Victorino. Don't forget, Joe Blanton's gone. Charlie Manuel's done a terrific job with this ball club to get him to within 7 games of the 500 mark.
Nice announcement we just heard, a good one, regarding Andrelton Simmons.
The air's running and the pitch fouled away by Mayberry.
Dr. Gary Laurie, the hand specialist who takes care of the Braves, examined Andrelton Simmons today and released him to do all baseball-related activities. Beginning tomorrow. Again, we showed you a little video today of him taking some ground balls and throwing.
He'll be reevaluated on Monday with a chance to go out on a rehab assignment as early as Tuesday. As Mayberry swings and misses, and that's the big second out of the 8th inning. 2 strikeouts for Eric, 1 more left to get.
Nasty slider.
Here's Eric Kratz. Kratz is 1 for 3. That's a big, strong man behind the plate. He's hit 7 home runs this year. 3 of them have come against left-handers in only 27 at-bats. The air's running. The pitch low. McCann's throw is going to be in time. He got it. Perfect throw ends the 8th.
Quick release by Brian here. Quick feet and then a perfect throw on the bag.
The Braves shut down the Phillies in the 8th and still lead 5-4. Part by Crown Royal, by Checkers, by Toyota, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Good ball game tonight in Atlanta. Great start to this big weekend of festivities in the state of Georgia. Braves lead the Phillies 5-4 as we head to the last of our 8th inning. Dan Uggla will go to work first, then Paul Janisch, then the pitcher's spot.
And he's the subject of our Zaxby's indescribably good play. His home run leading off the 6th inning put the Braves back on top after they'd led 4-1. The Phillies tied it, and Dan's homer made it 5-4. And Dan's numbers, although his batting average still around the 200 mark, 5 homers, 11 RBIs his last 22 games compared to his previous 46. Get hot, stay hot.
Couple of changes for the Phillies. Juan Pierre stays in the game. He'll play left field in place of Ty Wigginton. And the Braves get their first look at Philippe Aumont.
I like the way you say that.
Or if you're in the South, he'd be Aumont.
And it'd be Philip.
He's out of Quebec. This is his 3rd big league game. Strike 1 to Dan Uggla. He brings it up there in good shape. That pitch at 95 miles an hour.
This guy's huge. 6'7", 255.
He was the closer for their Lehigh Valley team. And look at the reaction of that pitch from Dan Uggla.
Ooh. We got him from Seattle in the Cliff Lee deal, and he was the centerpiece of it. I'm not sure what the delay was in bringing him up when they were struggling, but he had not pitched above Double-A until this year. Well, I beg your pardon, 18 games last year in Triple-A. But virtually a full year this year in Triple-A, getting ready for this.
Ground ball to short. Rollins seemingly plays everything with the backhand. Handled that one cleanly. 1 away in the 8th inning. Here's what's on tap for game 2 of the series. Our Chevron upcoming starters.
On Big Fox tomorrow, 4 o'clock start. Cliff Lee against Tim Hudson. ERA is just about the same. Tim's had a good year at 13-4 compared to Cliff's record, but always tough.
Janisch tries to split a gap, and he's going to. This one will roll to the edge of the warning track. And Paul Janisch doubles with 1 out. That'd be a big run to get. Juan Francisco grabs a bat and will pinch hit for Eric O'Flaherty.
Well, that's the first hit given up by Aumont since he got called up. Does Paul get the baseball? Nobody's been able to hit this guy except Paul Janisch. But you're right, that's a big add-on run right there.
How big is this guy?
6'7", 255. When he and Kratz are standing on the mound together, the mound gets flatter.
They punish that baby, don't they? So Juan Francisco will pinch hit. Another unheralded pickup by the Braves from the Cincinnati Reds. Yeah, Francisco and Paul Janisch in separate deals, and both have had gigantic impacts for this Atlanta team this year. 0-0 in 2.
Slider's got some bite to it too. Craig Kimbrell not coming in to catch. He'll be in the ninth.
Breaking ball froze Francisco. Wow, from 95 to 80 in that pitch sequence for the second out.
Well, this is the same pitch he threw Dan Ugla, but watch how far it starts outside and comes back. That's the old proverbial backdoor slider, but that was a beaut.
Michael Bourne with a chance for a clutch hit. Ground ball deep short. Rollins has to unload quickly. He did. Howard can't hang on, and all hands are safe. They're at the corners. That's a throwing error and an example of what speed does to an opposing defense.
11th error of the year for Rollins, and he caught that flat-footed. He didn't have time with Bourne running to get a little bit of a crow hop, so off his back foot he throws, and he throws low. And more reason to appreciate Freddie Freeman and what he does around the bag. The Braves are still alive here in the 8th inning to get an extra run.
Maybe Almont will throw one of those sliders in the dirt. That wouldn't be bad either. Big night for Martin. 2 hits, a run, and 2 RBIs. The Ribbies came in the 5th on a 2-run homer that gave the Braves the lead against Halladay. And there's the ball in the dirt. But no advance by Janisch. Bourne will move up to second. Wild pitch.
See where the direction of that goes. Now, Paul thought that perhaps when he read it that it didn't bounce away as far, and from the depth perception standpoint of where he was, that was a tough one to read, and I think they might have had a play on him. So with Martin up there, the way he's swinging the bat, don't take a chance, give him a chance to drive him in.
Yeah, it might score 2. Ball 1, strike 1 to Prado.
Braves just 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position tonight, but they do have the lead.
Hot smash right at Ryan Howard. Man, that could have been a thing of beauty, but Howard was positioned perfectly, and that ends the Braves' 8th inning threat. We head to the 9th inning. Atlanta leads 5-4. The lights go down. It's Kimbrell time at Turner Field. Braves 5, Phillies 4, 3 outs to get. For an Atlanta victory tonight.
And Craig Kimbrell on to close the ball game. His 6th game of the year against the Phillies. 5 innings, only 1 hit and 1 run, and 10 strikeouts in those 5 innings.
So he answers another AT&T call to the bullpen. He's the 4th reliever of the ball game. And Kimbrell, who has not had many saves this month, still has pitched unbelievably well out of the Braves bullpen.
How about this? As much as we talk about Craig Kimbrell and the work he's done this year, did you know that he has not allowed more than 1 hit in any inning this year?
Did not know that.
That's dominance.
And he has the bottom part of the Phillies order: Kratz, Martinez, and then the pitcher's spot. And it seems, Joe, every hitter, it's strike 1. Two breaking balls, different speeds, but the same result. Strike 2. Drilled down the left field line. That ball is gone. Erik Kratz has tied the game in the 9th on an 0-2 pitch.
How?
Nobody saw that coming.
Nope. Fastball 2, belt high, and boy, did he turn on it. Talked about him being big and strong, and he got the barrel to the baseball. First blown save for Craig since July 20th at Washington. I believe it was a home run that night, too.
So Dominic Brown is the Phillies pinch hitter. And now Craig jumps. I should say has an even count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Scoreboard hadn't even changed the count. They were stunned too after Kratz hit one down the left field line.
Really quieted this crowd.
Two. Brown is down swinging.
Got ahead with 2 breaking balls and then the fastball. Point of contact. Didn't even really have to swing too hard with that fastball, and it jumped.
So a new ball game, 5-5, bases empty, 1 out, and Lance Nix will pinch hit. Nothing in 2. Josh Lindblom's up in the Phillies pen, as is Jonathan Papelbon. It'll be Papelbon if the Phillies take the lead. It'll be Lindblom if Kimbrell keeps it 5-5.
But as you said, in the bottom of the 8th, even with a guy like Craig Kimbrell in your bullpen, that extra run sure would be nice.
And all those opportunities with runners in scoring position early in the game, too. We say the Braves were 1 for 9, 1 for 10.
Yep.
1 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. 1-2 are out. And in the ninth, Braves will have Hayward, Chipper, and Freddie Freeman coming up. So don't despair a chance to perhaps win it in the bottom of this inning. There's Jimmy Rollins.
Be careful here. This guy's a good fastball hitter and may be ready to try and ambush one right away.
He took a strike with a fastball. Two. Rollins is out on 3 pitches. Bottom of the ninth inning, tie game. Let's see if the Braves can win it. Out of this final frame. Big crowd tonight at Turner Field, and the ball has been a jumping. We have seen 5 home runs hit, 3 of them by the Braves. As you see, Lance Nix takes over in right field for the Phillies, and one of their acquisitions late in the season, Josh Lindblom, came over from the Dodgers. That's his record with the Phillies and Los Angeles.
Hard throwing right-hander. Fastball in the low to mid-90s and a good slider.
Hayward, Chipper, Freddie Freeman. Jason 0 for 4 tonight. Average at 272. High fly ball lifted toward left. But on the warning track, Juan Pierre's got it. One man down.
He was practically playing on the track.
Well, Chipper knows a thing or two about dramatics against the Phillies here in Atlanta. Swing drive, right center field. The Braves have won it. That was the crowning blow in that crazy May game started by Roy Halladay here in Atlanta. One ball, no strikes.
He had him off balance left and right-handed tonight for that breaking ball.
Over the outside corner. Wow.
Good pitch. 94 at the knees on the outside corner. Right at the target. Perfect pitch.
And that one a good result for the Phillies as well. 2 outs.
I don't know the last time Chipper struck out 3 times in a game, but it's been a while.
Now Freddie Freeman, the batter. His perfect night ended with a strikeout in the 7th, but he singled, walked, and has hit a 2-run homer.
This guy's numbers almost doubled in ERA from what it was with the Dodgers. Over 6. 10 walks in 11 plus innings, now 12 innings.
And he issues a 4-pitch walk to Freddie Freeman.
I should have said that earlier.
Well, here it sets up for Brian McCann. Final day of August. He doesn't have an extra base hit this month. Chance for him to do something dramatic with Freddie at first and 2 outs in a tie game 9th inning.
He hit the ball hard twice tonight. Once off Halladay in the 2nd inning, lined to center, and he lined to right off Castardo in the 7th. 4 fly ball outs.
Again, 6 of Brian's 18 homers, 17 of his 58 RBIs have come against the Phillies this year. Ball, no strikes.
The outfield extremely deep to prevent a ball being hit over their head. They'll concede a single. Last time Chipper had a 3-strikeout game, September 28th of last year.
Wow.
Against the Phillies. He doesn't get many hat tricks, and that's why you knew it'd been a while. They got a strike call on the slow curveball, relatively slow curveball down and in. They got Chipper to swing at that pitch down and in. If they go back there again, setting up a way.
Two and two.
Tell you what, he's making some good pitches with his fastball out there when he needs it. That one was up, but Brian couldn't get on top of it.
Here comes a 2-2 pitch. High in the air to shallow left, and Juan Pierre is going to catch it. So free baseball in Atlanta. 5-5 after 9. Christian Martinez is going to come on and pitch for the Braves. He'll have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Phillies. Here are the records in extra inning play.
A lot of extra inning games for Philadelphia. The Braves last year had a bunch, but this year just 8. They're 6-2. Last year 26 extra inning games for Atlanta.
That's another reason why the bullpen workload was so heavy. All those extra innings had to be picked up. And a few more here tonight, or at least one for Christian Martinez. They'll start with Franzen, who singled and scored in the Phillies' 6th inning. Philadelphia picked up 4 hits on 9 pitches. The final pitches thrown by Mike Minor. As Mike started the game, went 5+, allowing 4 runs.
Christian was in 5 games on the 10-game road trip, but the last one at San Diego Wednesday, just a third of an inning. So he should be good for multiple innings tonight if needed.
Foul over the Braves dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Washington did win tonight. They blanked the Cardinals 10-0 at Nationals Park. First loss for Adam Wainwright in his last 8 outings for St. Louis. He had come in red hot.
Pitching like Adam Wainwright before the Tommy John. But not tonight.
That's down the right field line by Franson. Hayward over quickly to cut it off. And it's a leadoff single for the Phillies.
Not sure how hard that ball was hit, but boy, when it got to the outfield grass, it just died, didn't it? And allowed Jason to get over there and cut it off. Utley put down a good bunt back in the 6th inning with runners at first and second. It was the third of 4 straight singles for the Phillies in the 6th inning when they rallied to tie the game.
So now real trouble with Utley and Howard up in the Phillies' 10th.
Calling a balk.
Wow.
I didn't see what he did. It was called by the third base umpire, Chris Conroy. Yeah. Even before he tried to use the bill of his cap and his head to try to deke the first base runner, he kind of twitched right after that with his whole body.
So now an RBI chance for Utley, who's ahead in the count. 1 ball, no strikes.
What will be especially difficult here with the guy with as quick a bat as he has is to keep him from pulling the ball. If he drives in the run, that's all the better for the Phillies, but he's a tough out in this situation to keep him from pulling the ball on the ground and getting the runner to third.
Look at that swing. What a piece of hitting by Utley. Martinez to the bag, runner to third, 1 out. That's a professional at bat.
Well, he did what you expect a guy of his ability to do, and that is just take a little off the swing, roll over the top of it. Wasn't trying to do anything spectacular, and gave himself up. That is a professional at bat, Chip.
His teammates greet him warmly. Now the Braves will take the bat out of the hands of Ryan Howard. They'll walk him intentionally and go after Juan Pierre, who's in the on-deck circle.
Going back to that home run by Kratz that tied the game last inning. In Craig Kimbrell's career, on an 0-2 count, hitters were 8 for 98 and no homers. That big guy, I mean, he put a good swing on it and tied the game up, so give him credit. But let's go back to that play. He made it that home plate too and saved a run when he took the hit from Chipper. He's done a good job tonight.
So Roger McDowell will head to the mound. And a man in the batter's box that can present an awful lot of problems for you. Juan Pierre, as you know, can really handle the bat. And an awfully difficult man to double up. 333 at-bats coming into play tonight for Pierre. He's hitting 2 double plays. And still a 300 hitter. Braves play in at the corners, halfway up the middle. And a quick strike. 2 on Pierre.
And you would expect Franzen to be going on contact here, which is why the middle infielders have shortened up. If they get a sharply hit ball, they're going to try to turn a double play if it's near the bag. If not, if they have to read it and decide to come to the plate, they'll have to hurry.
If Martinez strikes out Pierre, and that becomes academic, and he's ahead of him 0-2.
Well, his out pitch is a changeup, and that's a good pitch, but it also might lend itself to kind of a swinging bunt or slow roller from Pierre. That creates all kinds of problems for the infielders.
Breaking ball outside corner, and Pierre took it.
He went to one knee because he thought it was outside, and a little bit of a backdoor fastball here. Backdoor cutter that came to the outside corner, enough for Mark Carlson. Good time to get the benefit of the doubt on that call.
So now the Braves infield can back up, play at normal depth as Mayberry bats. He singled, walked twice, and struck out.
And he's been their hottest hitter.
High fly ball hammered down the left field line. The ballpark's not going to hold it. On the first pitch, John Mayberry has hit a 3-run homer in the 10th.
That's 3 homers, 10 RBIs in his last 11 games. Fastball, and he jumped all over it. No stride, great extension. Man, oh man. After striking out Pierre, looked like he had a chance to get out of it.
And what a dramatic turnaround in this game. The Braves led 5-4 in the top of the 9th inning. The man in the batter's box, Eric Kratz, hit a home run off Craig Kimbrell on an 0-2 pitch to tie it. And now a 3-run homer by Mayberry in the 10th, and another rocket off the bat of Kratz. If this score holds, Mayberry's going to get a lot of credit, but Kratz might be the MVP of the game for Philadelphia to this point. The Phillies are an amazing 1-55 this year when trailing after 8 innings. They lead in the 10th, 8-5. And it looks like Cliff Lee is going to grab a bat. Cliff Lee hits in the 10th. He's not a bad hitter. He's 10 for 50 this year with 3 RBIs.
The only guy they have on their bench left is Stephen LaRue, their backup catcher.
One. Cliff Lee's pinch hit before. This is his 4th pinch hit appearance. He's 0 for 3 in his career. And as dramatic as this comeback could be for the Phillies, it will also, if this score holds, end a very impressive run for the Braves when leading after 8.
Best in baseball. So going to have to rally in the bottom of the 10th to make that record hold up.
Strike 2 to Cliff Lee. Lee starts tomorrow against Tim Hudson. And the inning is over. John Mayberry has had a big night. A 3-run homer in the 10th inning. And the Phillies have stunned this Turner Field crowd for the moment. 8-5 your score in the 10th. With Jonathan Papelbon, the Phillies have 31 saves as a team. Papelbon has 30 of them.
30 out of 33, and he's better on the road than he has been at home, as you see these numbers. And he has really pitched well. It kind of coincides with the way this team has been playing since the second half, because he's getting more opportunities to save games. And in the last 16 appearances, he has a 0.55 ERA and 9 for 9 in saved chances in that period.
So Dan Uggla gets it started. Dan hit a 6th inning home run. That put Atlanta up 5-4. Phillies tied it on a Kratz homer in the 9th. Just got 3 in the 10th. 8-5 your score. It'll be Uggla, Janish, and then we'll see for Freddie Gonzalez. Strike 1 from Papelbon.
93 on that fastball. He'll go 94, 95. Also his secondary pitch, a split finger pitch with an occasional slider.
One ball, one strike. Braves got 4 runs off Roy Halladay in 4 2/3 innings. But have still left 10 men on base in a 3-run game.
Papelbon pitched an inning yesterday against the Mets. hit a batter, struck out a batter.
Low. 3 balls and a strike.
Walk could be a great way to start the inning, and he doesn't walk many guys. About a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. But need some base runners. Take them any way you can get them.
And now a full count. Back to the screen. We'll do it again.
Got it up to 95 on that one. And the way he sets up with his back turned to the hitter, ball really comes out, not like a side armor, but it's hard to pick up for right-handers especially.
Strike 3 called inside corner. Ugla thought he earned a walk.
Carlson's had a lot of people talk to him on the way back to the dugout tonight. It was in the same spot. It looked like that Pierre got rung up.
One out for Giannis. Paul has a single and a double tonight. Strike 1. Game 2 of the series here tomorrow afternoon on Big Fox. Tim Hudson, Cliff Lee. Rosters will expand. Rays are expected to bring some players up from Gwinnett. They acquired Jeff Baker from the Tigers tonight. Then we'll wrap up the series at 5:05 Sunday. Mahalam and Hamels. Cut by Giannis. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Braves were not going to pick up any ground on Washington since they shut out the Cardinals again tonight. But a win would have allowed them to pick up some ground in the wild card against St. Louis and Pittsburgh, who's also losing tonight in the 7th.
Papelbon signed a 4-year deal in November of last year. Vesting option for 2016. He'll be 32 this November. Giannis giving him a good fight here in the bottom of the 10th. Howard won't have room. It's out of play. How good has Papelbon been? Coming into this season, became the first pitcher, did Papelbon, in baseball history to have 30 saves in each of his first 6 full major league seasons. And that's in the rough and tumble American League East with the Red Sox.
Yeah, he was on a good club too.
Get the corner. Papelbon thought it was there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
For whatever reason, and I'm not sure what it is, Mark Carlson has not given a strike to that side of the plate tonight. It's only been in this inside corner to right-handed hitters, and even what turned out to be the outside corner to left-handed hitters. To that side of the plate, he's been generous. The other side, he has not.
And Kratz came out with his crouch, ready to fire to third. He thought it was strike 3 as well. In the air, center field. That's well hit. Mayberry going back and makes the catch on the warning track. Good at bat by Giannis, but a disappointing result. 2 outs. And Eric Kinski, the last hope for the Braves in the 10th inning. Strike 1. Skied foul, no balls, 2 strikes.
Kinski 2 for 6 against him in his career with a double. Just any way to get on base, keep the game alive, and get to the top of the order.
Held up, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's your ball game. Jonathan Papelbon nails it down in the 10th inning, and the Phillies took one away from the Braves tonight. The Philadelphia Phillies are anything but dead as we enter the month of September. They are now 8 games behind the Cardinals in the wild card chase in National League play, and they come back with a 2-strike homer in the 9th, 3 in the 10th, and stun Atlanta in Game 1 of this 3-game series. 8-5 again, your final. Back to tell you more about tonight's series opener with the Phillies right after this.